Hello, hello, and welcome to the Holistic Witch's Cottage. My name is Melissa, and I am the Holistic Witch. And today we'll start with a little update and then talk a little bit about social media. And then the main topic will be witching on a easy, low budget. So I will be wandering around the cottage a bit today, so you may hear some background sounds. Every time I move, even a fidget or a pinch, it affects the sound quality here. So, we'll just roll with it, I guess. So based on viewer or listener feedback, and I thought this was a weird question, but I'm weird, so I'm going to roll with it. Somebody asked if I would say what I'm wearing when I'm doing a podcast. I am not an aesthetic witch. I do not dress up in robes or costumes. The only robes I own are bathrobes or the one I take out to the hot tub. But sure, if it's going to get me more listens, I'll roll with it. So this morning it is slightly chilly outside, but warm in the cottage. I am wearing black yoga shorts and a pink State Park t-shirt, and my hair is up in a messy bun ponytail thing. I am drinking regular coffee. I think we buy Folgers Black Silk, one of the dark ones, with a splash of milk for creativity and sweetened with maple syrup to sweeten my day, to bring nice things into my day, and because it was sitting on the counter and it was handy. I love these well-produced podcasts and videos where it looks like someone's living in a gothic mansion, like the Munsters or Addams Family or something. No, this is pretty authentic AF here. So, we'll roll with that. So, on the update, so in my part of the world, autumn is definitely here. The trees in many areas are past their prime color, so we're starting to see the glimpses of what's coming with winter. We celebrated Mabon, so as far as the calendar says, autumn equinox occurred, and the seasons seem to change pretty quickly in my part of the world, up in the mountains here. So hubby and I went up to the lake where we normally camp and where the kayaks live, because the camping season is almost over. I think they're having their big fall festival this weekend, and then the week after they do a Halloween thing, and then they start shutting down the bathrooms in the bathhouses. So a few sites may be open until the end of October, but in this part of Pennsylvania and my part of the world, some places are starting to shut down and buckle up for winter. We went up to take the kayaks out for a while. It was a choppy water day. It was warm out, and it was pretty beautiful. We saw a few boats. There weren't too many people out on the lake, which was nice. So we took the kayaks out for a little cruise, and we've brought them home to winterize them. Now, legally, we can be on the water until the end of October, I believe, without special outfitting. You need special wick suits to do that, which we don't own at this point in the game, but I really don't want to run into ice and snow on the river. So I'm good with our season coming to an end. If we decide to go somewhere else, we can haul them. But the kayaks are home, drained, dry, and clean, which is a law here to not contaminate areas with whatever might be in the water wherever you're at. So that's the update. So social media. So this morning I read a post on a group where I'm called some kind of expert contributor or something. I don't know. Some Facebook lingo. But it was a question I've seen a lot, so I've decided just to address that today. It was a newish practitioner. This person has read some books, watched some videos, listened to some podcasts, and someone gifted this person a spell book, and the question was, what should I do? Because every one of these spells has 10 to 15 ingredients in it. I don't own any of these things, and I don't necessarily know where to get them. I am a low-budget witch. I don't know if it's because growing up in Appalachia, in the Appalachian Mountains, and in my 20s during my first marriage, I had to learn a lot of this stuff on the fly just because I was basically being starved out. My husband at the time liked to spend money on things that weren't necessarily good or productive. So I got a crash course in how to make almost everything from scratch, because if we had anything in the house that was a convenience food, he was surely going to eat it in the first day we purchased it, or he was going to trade it for something with someone else. So I learned to cook almost everything from scratch in my early 20s because it slowed down his consumption. I think of myself as more a producer. In the world, I try to produce things to help people, and some people, their only purpose in life, I think, is just to consume and drain it all up. And that was the situation I was in that put me very much on the path I am on today. So if your spell calls for 10 or 15 ingredients that you don't have or don't know how to get or can't afford, we're going to talk about how to simplify that for you. And I may do that by just walking into my kitchen. So I'm not sure how much this will affect the sound quality, but that's fine. So on the post, on the response I wrote for this individual, I suggested some easy green and kitchen witch tips that this person could try. So if the things that I talk about today, if you don't have them in your kitchen either, if you're listening to me, you probably have access to a computer or a smartphone. You can Google or use your favorite web search and just type in magical correspondence for whatever. I'm getting out of order, but I actually did that this morning because there was an item on my table that I wasn't sure that I knew the correspondence for, and it's a bottle of organic ginger that came, it's Great Value brand, so it came from Walmart. I am absolutely okay with using herbs, spices, and teas that come from the grocery store. I'm very rural. We don't have a lot of access to specialty stores. More popping up, but it's still quite a drive. I occasionally order things from Amazon if I need a specialty item, but I am okay with shopping at your grocery store if you have a Walmart or something similar, or even the dollar store. I'm okay with it. I also wrote in the response, everybody can witch as they wish. If you have the funds and access to specialty items, specialty stores, that's great, which as you wish. But if you don't, here are some things you can do. So I was not sure, I did not remember the correspondence for ginger. So I went on my phone, on my web search, and typed in magical correspondence for ginger. And what I got was ginger corresponds to the element of sun, the elements of light and heat, and can be used to boost increase power or increase passion. Now, what I know from my own mind is this is very similar to a correspondence I have in a book for using cinnamon. I happen to have a cinnamon, I'll call it sensitivity. It's probably is a full-blown allergy. It's just not as severe as some of the other ones I have. So I don't use a lot of cinnamon at the cottage. We occasionally buy things that have it in it, but I don't cook with a lot of cinnamon, but I do cook with a lot of ginger. So ginger is an easy substitute for cinnamon. So if anything I talk about today, you don't have it in your house, you can do what I did and just Google what you do have in your house. And that's an easy way. And, you know, if you're keeping track of these things or keeping a list of them somewhere, you can start a correspondence list of things you already have in your house. So I talked about my coffee this morning, and I used maple syrup, which is also great value brand. Maple syrup can be used as a sweetener, so can sugar, so can honey, so can Splenda, monk fruit, any of the sweeteners that you're using. If you want a more specific correspondence for that, I welcome you to Google it and do your own research. Always do your own research and see what you can discover about that resonates with what you want to do. But what I wrote on the post was, here are some simple things to start with. I think this person specifically wanted to work with protection, but didn't have the ingredients in the spell. Salt is one of probably the most accessible protection ingredients. Table salt. I use pink salt. We have sea salt. You can add things to them to color them. You can add eggshells and ashes to make black salt. Don't consume that, but people use them outside for protection. I do that sometimes. Sometimes people add herbs to the salt to color it. Some people purchase them that way. It's fine. You could add cayenne, paprika, sounding a little bit like a hot foot spell. If you are dealing with a situation that you are unhappy with, you want to move something or someone along, you can add a little paprika, a little crushed pepper, a little cayenne, one of those pre-made mixes. I have one for salads and chicken. So let's look at this. This is a salad supreme mix. This includes, and this is I'm not going to say the name of the brand. This is a major brand. You probably can find it in any grocery store in the United States. So this is a salad supreme seasoning. It includes paprika, poppy seeds, celery seed, black pepper, red pepper, a bit of cheese. Cheese and dairy can be used for creativity and fertility of ideas. So it's a power booster. There's some garlic here. Garlic we use for gossiping, to stop gossiping. Okay, so in this little pre-bought, store-bought Salad Supreme seasoning mix, you might just have the ready-made ingredients to do a little hot foot, to move something along that you no longer want in your life. Maybe you're having trouble with a coworker, you would like them to back off a little bit. Maybe the next time you make dinner, sprinkle something similar into your dinner and state, I would like, insert person's name here, to back off from me at work and give me peace, quiet, and tranquility. And with your intention and with those ingredients, you may have just set forth a manifestation to back that person off so they're out of your space. Okay? Some of the others I talked about, rosemary, this is a common meme on social media. Rosemary can be substituted for any herb in any working. I'm okay with that. Specifically, rosemary is very good for memories, for dreams, for finding lost objects, but specifically for memory. And because in my husband's side of the family, there have been some medical issues with dementia with older family members, I like to use a lot of rosemary because it says from a holistic perspective that it stimulates that part of the brain associated with memory, and we just like how it tastes, so for me it's a win-win. Coffee. Coffee is a grounding element. If you want to bring stability into your life, you could use some coffee grounds, maybe sprinkle a pinch, and wherever it won't, be a problem for you. Sometimes I just grab a pinch of these things and toss them into a bowl or a jar, or sometimes I toss them outside if it's something that's not harmful to the environment. Or you can drink coffee, or you can use it in recipes when you cook. So coffee for grounding and stability. I have a jar back here with sage that I grow from my garden. These are sage bundles that I dried. I talked a little bit about smoke can be used for cleansing. I usually use these sage bundles. But if you don't buy sage or don't want to use sage, incense smoke can be used. If you can safely burn just a little bit of wood. If you don't want to do it in the house, if it's a fire hazard, you can do it outside. Maybe light a toothpick and let it burn for a few seconds and blow it out so it's not a hazard. Fire safety is a real thing in the witch community. Smoke can be used as a cleanser. I also use sage in tea because it can be very helpful if you have a sore throat or an earache. So sage can be used for that. I have a large jar of lavender to promote sleep, which can be used in a tea. Anything can be used in a simmer pot as aromatherapy. Anything in my kitchen, at least, can be. I don't know what's in your kitchens. Oregano and garlic. If you're having a gossip problem or a nosy neighbor problem, add more garlic or oregano to your food to manifest protection from that. To sweeten your life, to bring in positivity, any of the sweeteners that I mentioned before. If you want to boost the sweetening, add ginger or cinnamon to boost that power. I know I'm missing something important here that I wrote in the post. I'm browsing around looking to see what I have. Abundance. Everybody, probably one of the most common questions I get asked is about money bowls and abundance bowls. Grains, rice, cereal. If you can get real wheat tips, wonderful. I have a jar of gourmet popcorn on my kitchen table. Grab a few popcorn kernels, put those in your bowl with a nickel, dime, quarter, and a dollar bill, and state that you would like the power of abundance to bring you more money, to make your money grow. You can use popcorn, rice, or any type of grain. I prefer to use dried grains, but I've heard of people using like cereal from a box too, and that's fine. I don't love the idea of like dumping Rice Krispies into a bowl. I don't know what kind of critters that might attract, but which as you wish. I have a whole shelf. It's up on the high shelf, so it must be heavy stuff. Crushed pepper, cayenne pepper, or some other kind of dried pepper. Peppers are activators, and like the hot foot, they can often be used for speeding things up, speeding up a situation. What else do I see around here? Someday I'll just do a whole post on, like, today I'm pretty much covering herbs, spices, and add-ons. Someday I'll do one based on food, but I won't include all that today, for we'll be here way longer than I want to be. Checking the counters for anything else. Okay, dill. Dill is often used for protection spells. I actually grow dill in my gardens around the cottage for protection, and it's tasty in a dip. So if you're going to one of those, in my part of the world they call them covered dish kind of dinners, or potlucks, where you have to take something in and eat with a bunch of people you may or may not want to be with. If you sprinkle salt and dill in sour cream and mayonnaise, the dairy is for fertility of ideas or to promote communication, but the dill and the salt and garlic too, if you wish, protects you from negativity. So there's a little kitchen witch tip if you need to go someplace like that. Make your own dip and then take some chips, potato chips, corn chips, whatever. But corn chips promote abundance. I usually stay away from potato chips because Nightshades and I don't have a nice arrangement. I like them, but I don't always feel well after I eat potatoes. So I don't actually remember what the correspondence for potatoes might be. So there's a little homework if you want to try. If you eat a lot of potatoes or a lot of potato chips, you can Google what is the magical correspondence of potatoes or potato chips and see what comes up. That might be a cool fun thing to do. Another thing about abundance, grains bring abundance. So just think of any food that contains grain. I have a loaf of sourdough bread. It's about half finished. I baked it the other day. I do work with sourdough. So another version of an abundance bowl that I have here all the time is my sourdough starter that I call Chucky. I feed Chucky almost every day unless I have him sort of. Sometimes I put him in the fridge just sort of to hold him in stasis. But when I am feeding Chucky, I am promoting abundance every day. I add flour, water, and sometimes a pinch of sugar for sweetening and activation. That's another form of money or abundance bowl. Who knew sourdough, not only eating it is good for your body or can be good for your body, but it can also promote abundance in your life as well. So there are a few easy tips you can use as far as herbs. Some other things I'm browsing around at. Pictures of altars on social media. I don't think I will ever post a picture of what I'm currently using as an altar. I have put up pictures of old ones that I no longer use as just ideas. I don't like to share that type of... I'm very transparent and authentic about what I do, but I also know there's people out there on the other side listening to and reading what I write that use things against people. So I'm usually pretty cautious about things like showing pictures of an altar. But if you don't have the items that you have seen on social media or on Pinterest for beautiful altars, it's okay to just, if you want to have one, you don't even have to have one. We have one, I kind of consider it like the family shelf in our living room, and it's more decorative than anything else. I do have some crystals and other things on there. I identify under the Christian witch umbrella, I guess. So I always have a Christian element on mine too. I know that's controversial for some people, take it or leave it. I do most of my work in the kitchen or outside, so like my stove workspace is probably going to have a simmer pot, a candle, and probably nothing decorative because it would be in the way, honestly, and it might be a fire hazard. It's okay to do what works for you. Unless you're following a path that has very, very, very specific rules, it's okay to do what works for you. I knew this would become a bit wandering and jumblesome because that's just me. But yeah, I have candles on my main altar space. I have some elements that represent the fall and abundance, and I always have a Christian element. I have some crystals, and then I have some seasonal flowers as well, which is pretty typical for what I do. I don't worry about specific rules for specific traditions too much. With that, candles. There's always questions about candles. I can't afford the candles at metaphysical stores. If you want to use candles, a white candle can be used for anything. And I have boxes of just regular white tea light candles. Some of them came from the Family Dollar before Family Dollar went out of business. When they were going out of business, like, I bought some stuff up. So I got a few boxes of white tea light candles for like 25 cents a piece for a box of 12. Good deal. White candles can be used if you like colored candles. Birthday candles are a very nice way to do that. They burn quickly, so if you need to have a candle burn out completely in what you're doing, some birthday candles will burn out in 5 to 10 minutes. They're fast and you can get them in almost any color. I know Amazon sells something called chime candles. I believe they're slightly longer and maybe thicker than birthday candles. They are also more expensive than the birthday candles I can buy at the dollar store. If you prefer that, it's fine. I don't think it's necessary. If a spell calls for specifically a chime candle, I would probably want to know why it specifically calls for that, unless they're also a company that sells those. Okay? So always use discernment and do what works with your own intuition. So we covered herbs, we covered a little bit of altar practice, we covered candles. As far as these books that have long lists of ingredients, personally, I'm probably not going to use anything that has a longer list of ingredients, longer than 5 ingredients, unless it's a cookbook. If it's a specific spell that calls for 10 or 15 ingredients, I would really need to know why it calls for so many and what those correspondences match to, and if I can pare that down to several items. But that's just me. Again, which is you wish. So, before I ramble and wander too much more on this topic as I browse around my house, another thing, I get asked about protection a lot. Salt's good for protection, but pine wood is also good for protection. If you'd like to have a few accent pieces in your house that are made of pine. I have some pine shelving. I have a pine cross that hangs on the wall. We have some furniture that is made of pine. You can choose decor or furnishings to meet your witchy wants and needs as well. And these aren't specialty items. These are, bought from just regular furniture stores or whatever. Sunflowers can also be used for protection. I grow them around the cottage. They're almost done now, feeding the birds. But I do have sunflower motifs in my house to promote protection as well. So don't be afraid to research. If you have a question, you can always reach out to me. I'm happy to answer questions. Colors can be used in your magic. Anything really can be used in your magic. You're only limited by your own creativity. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me on social media or email me on Gmail at theholisticwitch@gmail.com. I feel like this is starting to run on longer than I wanted it to. The next podcast I do will probably be a yoga and time break, and then we'll see what's happening in the world, and that'll give me some ideas for the next podcast. If you have any questions or want a topic covered, let me know. Obviously, I'm happy to do that like I did today. So be safe out there. Many blessings on your journey. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.